Just went up there to get one.
Okay, we're going to have the filter.
Can't tell colors.
Yeah, we got it in a moment.
All right, that's a bad angle. You need to bring that around.
Okay, so you're going to hear my
Just
intro.
a teensy bit, because we got the side of her face. There it is, right there. And let's just use one mic since they're sitting so close together. That way we can see both of their faces, okay? Miss Powell, could you please put the mic in between you two?
She don't feel comfortable
You
with,
don't?
no, she doesn't. So she really wants some mic. She
So I
wants
like
some
to
mic.
lean in and give my deep voice and my intro slowly.
When it was lower, it was fine.
Yeah, you can't see it on our screen. I mean, you can see it.
Well, it's not your this.
But if you were standing right here where we are, and the mics are off to the side, this is radio. Don't we want them to see us radio? Do we on? I know, but we're on radio.
Because we getting ready to get started.
Live radio. I'm going live right now. Hello. Welcome to EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power. This is Urban Broadcast Media. If you haven't done so, download the app. You can go to urbanbroadcastmedia.com and listen there as well. If you want to call in about today's conversation, the number is 312-754-4333. And today in the studio, I have Miss Javonna Lynn Dunnigan. Hi, Javonna Lynn. Can I call you Lynn?
Yes, you can.
Okay, and that's because we go a little ways back, just a little way. Just a little way. She is a Hamptonian alumni as well, and she is a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And though that is opposite of my sorority, we are sisters in service. Wouldn't you say that?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And we're going to talk to her today because she has spent some time with individuals incarcerated, and therefore, from that point, she then started her own company revolved around firearms. So we're going to talk about that and how that is relevant currently in our communities. We just witnessed the massacre in Las Vegas, as well as women and being afraid most of the time of firearms and what you're doing to combat that. But we start the show with our newsroom or information coming from our newsroom. And I don't know if everybody has heard this, but BSD Industries, and that is Building Self-Determination, a social enterprise that is a program of the Arthur M. Brazier Foundation. Do you know Mr. Brazier over there at Apostolic Church? Okay. Well, at 9551 this morning, he had a opening of the facility, as you will, a groundbreaking of the facility, BSD Industries, which is going to be a business trade school, manufacturing facility, and social enterprise. And that social enterprise part is because its profits are used to invest in the stabilization of communities in the areas of education, safety, and economic development. The room was packed with news media and everybody in the area coming in to see, because he began this pilot program in September of 2015. They recently enrolled 44 trainees in this program that began last month. So he is one of those individuals I always believe that walks the talk that he talks. And he is talking about finding jobs, creating jobs, and obviously this is one. And robotics, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
You know, today's day, robotics, you're going to have to know how to operate those machines in order to get some of these great jobs that are currently out there. So this organization is planning on training about 120 people per year, because I believe this is a 13-month training program, and they have an opportunity to work at BSD through an apprenticeship. But then after successfully completing the training, they will assist them with job placement, which is also a fantastic opportunity. Congratulations, Arthur Brazier Foundation and BSD, which is Building Self-Determination. The building was located at 9551 South Cottage Grove, you know, over there in the area where there are a lot of big open manufacturing buildings. So they were over there today with that, and he, like I said, he had the news media and everybody over there. But this is also some news that I came across today. It's actually a little bit of an old news, but it's big news because nobody was talking about it. Now, earlier last week, we talked about the new CEO of, I'm sorry, not CEO, COO of Starbucks, which was Rosalind Brewer. And so now it turns out that Uber, new CBO, is an African woman, and she is fierce, according to everybody who is talking to her. The ride-share company brought Bozama St. John on board this past June. Can you believe that? It was June that she's been on, and no one has been talking about this. But this is fantastic. She perhaps was still distracted by, everyone was still distracted by the Uber CEO, Travis, who resigned in June, right? So then it was all about him and not about her and what she was doing. But because she is a woman and this company has been having issues with sexism, they have combated that with her. And then, of course, with having diversity, they have combated that with her because she is far from Caucasian, according to everyone, like I said, that has met her. Bozama St. John, the chief branding officer, also known as the CBO at Uber, has brought a lot of attention to the company. But she is not new there. She has had executive roles at Pepsi, Apple Music, and iTunes, as well as Ashley Stewart, just to name a few. So Gayle King interviewed her last week and brought some light on to what it is that she has done. So congratulations, Uber and Miss St. John, Bozama St. John. Congratulations on your position as the new CBO over at Uber. So that's a good thing, right? Yes, right? We're always talking about women and empowering, and especially minority women being in high positions within some of these Fortune 500 companies, whereby a lot of money that comes from the communities are being spent with these organizations and these companies, and so that's great. That is great that they have that going on. Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
Did you bring me some bras? I just tell you, everybody is supposed to come in here now. All my future guests, you better bring me a bra or two.
Bras later.
Thank you. I need those bras because UBM, Urban Broadcast Media, and Akarama Foundation are partnering together for this collection of bras during this month because they're taking all kinds of bras. So they can be new or gently used. You do not have to go out and buy any. They can be gently used, but they can be padded, sports, training, lace, cami, just anything but the water ones, like the gel or the water ones, anything but those. The bra company we're going to ship them to will then recycle them, repurpose them into red carpet cushions, donate the metal, and then use the proceeds for breast cancer research.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
Awesome.
So,
I will definitely bring you some.
well, thank you now. Thank you. Bring me now. I'll take red and or pink, whatever color you choose to bring. It doesn't matter because they're going to all go into red carpet cushions for high-end events. Now, you can send them if you do not have an opportunity to bring them to Urban Broadcast Media at 4108 South King Drive in Chicago, 60653. Attention EmPower hours. So we definitely want to do that and bring that about. I also want to call attention to and let everybody know about a housing fair. There's a community wealth building day happening on Saturday, October the 28th at Chicago State University. It's from 8:30 to 2:30. Free admission. Don't you just love free?
Right.
I love the fact that, and this is one of the things that the plan for EmPower Hour, which is to share resources and information that is out there. Some might cost a little bit, and that's great. That's fine. This is a capitalist, country, so you must do those kinds of things. However, when information is free, then it's on you to go get this information. I don't know why you wouldn't go get it. So here they're going to have raffles, free credit reports. Now everybody, I'm going to take my little personal opinion around here. You ought to know what your credit says. You can't do anything in this country without your credit, to buying things, big purchases, houses, cars, you know what I mean? Even when you're trying to start a business, and you're going to talk about that, right? Because you started a business,
Yes.
and those business loans need your credit report, personal credit report.
Yes.
So you need to know what's going on there. They have refreshments as well. And like I said, it's Saturday, October the 28th at Chicago State University. They will provide the tools needed to get you on a path to home ownership in your community. That means you can purchase your home wherever it is that you want to do so. We are coming up with a little bit of music now, and then we're going to return with talking with my guest, Lynn from JMD Defense and Investigations. Hey, everybody out there on UBM, Facebook,
And
Urban
YouTube.
Broadcast Media app. Hi, how are you? And welcome to EmPower Hour.
We're streaming live on YouTube.
This is behind the scenes section right here. So I got to get ready now, but I'm here. That's done. That's done. Is this the one right here too?
Yep, that's Facebook.
Okay, let's go top of one of my pieces of paper. I don't want them.
All right, so we are Facebook and YouTube going on here right now.
Hey, got it. Okay. Say, oh my. All right. So then we're going to come back to this one. And let's start with your background in history from,
Okay,
what is it, 25 years in
as a federal probation officer,
correctional office?
federal probation officer.
Federal probation officer. 25 years, federal probation officer. She gets to carry a gun, everybody. Ah! And then we go, let everybody know I do have a FOID card and that I...
And you're gonna take the classes so that you can become a concealed carry permit holder?
You said what?
You're gonna take the class?
Yes.
So you can become a concealed carry permit holder?
Yes. So then I can join the Women of Steel. Now, do I have to have the conceal and carry to join the Women
No,
of
you do
Steel?
not.
Just the FOID?
Well, you don't need a FOID card. You should apply for a FOID card so that if at some point you decide to purchase a firearm, that's the
Okay.
only way that you can, and ammo. But you just ask if somebody doesn't have experience with firearms, that they take our intro class first.
Okay.
Before they join.
And so then these are your classes.
Yep.
I like that. Would you say Mommy and Me?
Mommy and me.
Yes, yeah, we'll talk about that one too. This I'll do at the end. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start with that. Hey everybody logging in. Hey Gina, girl, you supposed to be on the plane somewhere, on a trip. Thanks for watching. Hey Mom, Auntie Irma, hey Jillian. You all are in Aruba watching. That's what I'm talking about. Aruba. Okay, that's what's up. We're gonna learn about firearms today. Yes. They need you to just get a little bit more energetic when speaking. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I
Talk
sure
right
will.
into the mic. Just yell into the mic.
Okay. So I'm not supposed
Okay,
to look
yeah.
at you.
I know.
can talk. It's hard.
Just that's okay. You can look at me and talk, but then just talk. Yeah,
That's fine.
I think that's part of the problem. They don't want to,
Right.
but just lean in and give it some
Okay.
energy and like, yes, Bertina, I agree, yes. I know it's nerve wracking.
It's hard to be you.
Huh?
It's hard to be you. With your energy. Trust me.
Well, listen, just give it you. Be you.
Okay.
Welcome back to EmPower Hour with Bertina Power and my guest, Giovanna Lynn Dunnigan from JMD Defense and Investigations.
Thank you.
We are here to, guns, it's a left and a right side to that, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, okay. And so right now, we just want to talk about let's talk about your history before you even got to JMD Defense and Investigations. You spent 25 years on a job where?
I was a federal probation officer here in Chicago, Illinois, and throughout my career, it was optional, it still is, for officers to carry firearms, but I was always afraid of firearms, and 3 times throughout my career, I signed up and chickened out and said, nope, not gonna carry.
So you were a federal probation officer, and you didn't carry a gun, and you were scared to.
And I was scared to
You
carry
were
a gun, but I
scared
was
to carry a
around
gun.
firearms all the time, obviously, with my peers. But what happened was, in the early part, I started in 1990. The federal offender was very different. It was a bank robber, tax evader.
Okay.
It was very different. The person was not necessarily violent. But as my career progressed, I did become a little bit more concerned. But the latter part of my career, the last 15 years, I was a supervisor, so I wasn't in the field.
I got you.
But I was married to a police officer for about 7 years, and after we divorced, I became comfortable with a firearm in the house when we were married, but then when we divorced, I said, you know what, I want to sign up for this class. I want to learn how to use a firearm properly.
You wanted to use fire because then now you didn't have the security of knowing that there was somebody there who at least knew how to use the gun
Absolutely.
properly and they could defend you
Absolutely.
in that home. And so now you're there by yourself, which a lot of women are, in the homes by themselves with their children, and this is a possibility. We're not advocating 100%, but if you're interested in it, the key is to learn how to properly clean, store, manage, keep, handle everything associated with it, all the rules and regulations. So that is for sure what it is. So you were on this job, and as the years progressed, you decided to still not carry the weapon.
Yes.
Then you got divorced, and now it is time. So then what do you do now?
So what happened, the last 3 years of my career, I decided to sign up for the class, took the firearm certification class at the job, and fell in love with it. I realized why people see this as a sport. So I would try to go practice at different ranges with other officers, but it was hard to find time to do that. So once I retired, I decided to purchase my own firearm, and I went to the gun range by myself. And I never saw another lady by herself or a group of women at the range. And I realized that maybe I am onto something. Maybe women are just afraid of firearms. Then I took a gun cleaning class, same thing. I was the only female in the class. And of course, going to purchase ammunition at Cabela's, I just never saw another woman kind of navigating this process by herself.
So you were always by yourself when you were going, and then you wondered, well, there has to be other women that are out here, either one already owning firearms, want to own them, and then did you also say that you didn't get the same respect maybe from the men all the time? They're thinking, oh, this little girl in here wants to
Yes.
play with guns.
My cousin had started going with me, a male cousin, and whenever we would go to the range together, they would assume he was there to teach me and that we were going to share a booth. I was like, no, I have my own firearm. We're both here to shoot. So it was a different reception. But once you start going on a regular basis and the guys at the range start noticing you, they realize, oh, she really does know what she's doing, and that
Starts to take you a little bit more serious.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I can understand that, surely. Now, so from there, you're retired.
Yes, I'm retired.
Most people retire to stop working, Javonna Lynn, but that's not what you decide to do. You decide to take on a project.
Yes.
Okay, but before we talk about JMD and that project, Vegas happened a couple weeks ago, the massacre there in Vegas. Now, those kinds of incidents are the very incidents that make individuals say no to guns. Would you agree?
Yes, it's been a hot-bedded discussion on Facebook, people in your family or friends. Everyone has a strong feeling about the Second Amendment and when these shootings occur. But what's really interesting in doing research, mass shootings are characterized as when there are 4 or more victims.
Okay.
So we have mass shootings in Chicago with a drive-by almost every day.
Gotcha.
So, in the sense, not to negate what happened in Las Vegas, but there are a lot of discussion. I do think we do need some form of gun control. I do believe we need that. But what happens is it's sweeping when people are talking about it, and then it's going to impact those that are legally trying to carry.
To do it the right way.
Absolutely.
I do understand. That is exactly why I wanted to bring it up. And when we come back from this station break, I want to dwell into you brought it up, but that is our communities and the guns and what it is that we are talking about, not talking about what we need to do associated with that. Remember, you are listening to Urban Broadcast Media, EmPower Hour with your host, Bertina Power. We will be right back after these messages. If you want to call in and give us your opinion, the number is 312-754-4333. We'll be right back.
Yeah. So just remember to just look in here because we're live on YouTube.
Okay. All right. all right. So then we're gonna come back now, and we talked about that, and we're gonna go into the Black community. So this is gonna be our longest stretch.
Okay.
Okay, so that we can dwell into that. So is there something specific you want me to ask to lead you into certain
No.
things?
Not at all.
Well, you got some good stuff right here.
This is just,
Hey Facebook, say hey Jamala.
Hello.
Yes.
that's just some research that I was doing about
About
universal
background checks.
background checks, because the issue always comes up about, background checks and the,
Okay, so then you're gonna talk about the classes and some of the classes and stuff like that. Okay. All right, so then we'll lead into that after we talk about the Black community version. Hi, what is everybody saying? Hey cousin, hey Rachel again, all of y'all out there enjoying lunch. Okay. So now I'll also mention how I have FYB card, and I've done that. I don't have a gun that I own. I'm gonna talk about that too, about joining the Women of Steel.
Ladies of Steel Gun Club.
Yes, yes, yes. Behind the scenes, this is behind the scenes with Urban Rockers and hashtag Women of Steel, right?
Ladies
yes,
of
yes,
Steel.
yes. Hashtag Women of Steel.
You put hashtag women, but it's
Huh?
Ladies of Steel Gun Club.
Ladies of Steel Gun Club. Do you have a hashtag for that?
No, but it's trademark,
Okay.
but it's just Ladies of Steel Gun Club.
And STEEL.
STEEL.
Okay. All right, all right. You have all these array of classes, which is nice.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Okay. Don't forget to download the app, urbanbroadcastmedia.com. Go to your Apple Store or Google, and you can download the app. That way you can hear the callers and everything that is going on, the music and everything. Hey everybody. I did put on my crest.
I just represented with red, and then of course.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yesterday we were giving teal for I don't have it on today. My teal for a toy for ovarian cancer.
Okay.
She started a foundation. The lady yesterday we were talking about. I don't have it on. Oh, hers, the Delta. Yes. Show it to the camera.
Yes. Delta Sigma Theta
Yeah,
sorority.
put that down. Nobody care about all that.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
Welcome back to EmPower Hour with your host Bertina Power, and I have in the studio Miss Giovanna Lynn Dunnigan, and she is the owner and operator of JMD Defense and Investigations, and we're talking about firearms, all the way around firearms. We're talking about them with the massacre that happened in Vegas, and I've just been enlightened that 4 or more killed is considered a mass shooting,
Not
and
including the perpetrator.
not including the perpetrator. Therefore, Chicago has these on a regular basis, in a lot of other cities, not just Chicago.
Yes.
But I think in this case, there was no, not that the gang shootings have any justification, I'm not saying that, but in those cases, these are rivals. It's something that's happening between a group of people that tends to lead to that. But that case was people out having fun at a concert and then having the shooting. So,
Absolutely.
that was why that one I think made such a media.
And it was a large number of people that were injured, and not just that were shot, but didn't die as well.
Absolutely, because there were a couple of hundred people that were left in the hospital.
Yes.
Yeah, past those 50 or plus, almost 60 that lost their lives, and again, we're still praying and giving our sympathy to those families who lost loved ones at that incident. So not to belittle that event at all in comparison, but in our Chicagoland area, as you brought this up, the community, the conversation around firearms and guns, and the amount of families that actually have guns, legal or illegal, in their homes.
Yes. So what's interesting is because I had my own journey to this new normal for me with carrying a firearm every day, a lot of people in our community it's a slow process.
Mhm.
And it is really difficult to try to help people to understand that maybe this is a viable option for you to protect yourself, your family, or your home, or it may be through a self-defense class. But in our community, it is really difficult when we talk about firearms. We're at two ends of the spectrum a lot of times.
Right, because the first time you hear it or they're talking about it, your first thought is some form of, like you said, drive-by, gang shooting, just senseless, one would consider. Not that I was protecting myself in any form or fashion from harm or hurt or whatever the case may be, but this is just out and out, an attempt to harm somebody else with probably little to no reason behind it.
Right. One of the individuals that reached out and asked me some questions a few weeks ago made the comment that I don't want to say it was offensive, but the person said, well, don't you have enough firearms in the community? Why would you all want, he was talking about Our Ladies of Steel Gun Club, and he says, why would you want more firearms? And my answer was, we're legal firearm owners. So
Right.
we're not the ones wreaking havoc on the community, it's the legal guns
The
that
illegal
are
guns,
plentiful out,
right.
in our community. So our right to bear arms and our decision to purchase a firearm in practice has nothing to do, it's not gonna contribute to the illegal operation that's going on in communities all over the country with the illegal purchase and sale of firearms.
And when you mentioned earlier, you talked about that once you started doing it, it felt like a sport or felt like it was something that was fun. It had some, what were those feelings associated with actually going to the range and shooting?
Well, for me, number one, it was empowering because I had overcome this fear and realized that this firearm that I used to be afraid of, that I thought would jump off the table and shoot me,
It was gonna
whatever,
shoot you.
that
Right.
I took that fear and that power away from that firearm. So going to the range, it's like you see the same people on a regular basis. If you go, I go normally on Sundays, and it becomes like a family because people are practicing. I'm practicing. Everyone's asking. Most times people will say, "What kind of gun is that?" And then if you rent something, new guns come out all the time. So now I get it that men or women too now really see this as a sport. They're learning something that they didn't know. They're trying to get better. You're shooting at a target, and each time you're trying to get better and better.
Yeah, and firearms, just for a case of history, has been around America since the beginning.
Yes.
Not right, putting in the powder and then shooting the guns from the gunpowder. That has always been here. So that is not something. Guns are not a new device that is on the market. Like cell phones are new devices, right? The guns have been here. It's an array of styles, power, long range, short range, handguns, machine guns. All types of guns that are out there. But right now we're talking about personal protective type handguns. When you say
Yes.
AK-47s are not considered concealed and carry type guns,
No,
are they?
not at all. Those are considered automatic weapons. So we're talking about semi-automatic weapons that a revolver or a 9mm or a 40 caliber, a firearm that someone is choosing to carry either to shoot for recreational reasons or that they're going to the range to practice with, or they're choosing to carry as a concealed weapon or for home defense.
Okay. Now, as you mentioned, home defense and carry for self-defense. You offer a lot of classes over there at JMD.
Yes, I
What are
do.
some of the classes? I saw one. Tell me about the Mommy and Me self-defense. That sounds like a good one.
So we have ladies only self-defense classes, and we have 3 different types. We have the adult self-defense class, that's all different ages, it's a 3-hour class. Then we also have Mommy and Me for a mom and a daughter the daughter could be between ages 8 and 18, and they come in together, and it's a team approach. And both parties are hearing the same message about victim awareness, being situational awareness, as well as learning some hands-on techniques. And then I also offer, I just started this in the summer, but it was hard to compete with Trump parties and the kids going away to school, but before she goes to college. And that is for
Yes.
these college young ladies. When they come home for Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're gonna offer the class as well, so that they can understand what they should do and not do on campus, off campus, at parties, as well as physical, hands-on techniques so that they can defend themselves.
To defend themselves, right. And let's be clear, these Mommy and Me class and the class you're talking about for college girls are defense classes.
These are defense
not
classes.
gun classes.
Not gun classes.
Right, I didn't want anybody
Yeah.
to think that the 8-year-old was going to a gun class. No, that is a defense class. That is to help her should somebody want to pull her down the alley,
Absolutely.
how to protect herself in
Absolutely.
those
And
situations.
how to kick and run, and if somebody grabs her, yes, all
Right.
of that.
Or even as we've been discussing on this show, the young girls that have perpetrators in their own homes, in their
Absolutely.
families, and how to protect themselves from those individuals. So that's what that class is about. I just want to be clear, because we were talking about firearms,
Yes.
and then we jumped right into these classes. So you have classes like Mommy and Me, and before she goes to college, and some all women self-defense classes, and victim awareness classes. Now, do you have men in these classes, or are you mostly geared toward just the women and young girls?
So the self-defense classes are only for ladies. There are
Okay.
plenty of self-defense opportunities out here in the community for men. And I came up with this idea because before my daughter went away to college, I was looking for a class on the south side for her and could not find it.
I could not find anything,
Right.
right,
For
because
self-defense.
for self-defense. Now, are you saying or are you identifying that there is a difference in teaching women versus men in self-defense? Where does the difference
Well,
lie?
There is probably a difference from that standpoint. It's just, this is not jiu-jitsu or martial arts. This is
Gotcha.
a 3-hour, basic self-defense class, situational awareness as well. But what I'm saying is, on the south side, I did not find dedicated classes for young ladies when my daughter was leaving to go away to college. They have self-defense classes, but they were north, they were in the suburbs, and they were
Gotcha.
far. So I was trying to have meet an unmet need in our community.
Wow, so we appreciate that, I'm sure, and women that are, or families who have young girls out there can definitely find a place now on the south side should they want to take some of these classes. So on the flip side of that then, you do offer the gun classes.
And those are open to men and women.
Those are open to men and women, got it. So those are for everybody to come in. Now, do you have to be a certain age?
No, you don't. So,
You don't have to be 18.
yes, you do. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I was curious. I was like, you mean my 11-year-old
I'm
can
sorry.
come?
Well, let
18.
me, there, down the road, I do have a plan
Okay.
for our people, our young people. So I can talk about that later. But for right now, you have to be at least 18 to come in and take our intro class,
Okay.
intro to firearms class, which is the first step that we're recommending. It's not mandatory, but what we're saying to people is that a lot of people are fearful of firearms, and what they do is they jump and say, I want to take concealed carry, and then they take the 2 days, 16-hour class, and then they're running to get a gun, and they don't know what to do.
Right.
So we're trying to start with an intro class that is a basic fundamental class to help people to get over that fear. And we're seeing that once they get to the concealed carry class, they're a lot more comfortable handling a firearm, and that's the point that we go to the range for the live qualification. And then men and women can sign up for either one of those classes. But the beyond piece, there's really no beyond piece for most concealed carry businesses. Mine is the Ladies of Steel Gun Club.
The Ladies of Steel Gun Club. I like that. Let's talk about that. What is that about?
Well, the Ladies of Steel Gun Club, what we are, 45 women that are of all ages. Youngest probably is 30, and the oldest, I believe, is close to 80.
Oh, 80?
Yes.
Oh my, stay away from
We have
her.
a few ladies in the club that are in their 70s, and so right now what we do is once a month we meet as an office and have a meeting, and it's educational. And that educational meeting is centered around all things firearms related to women. We brought
Gotcha.
a guy came in and taught us about, gave a brief demonstration about cleaning your firearm and the importance of maintenance.
And now, let me interrupt you here if I may. Cleaning of the gun, I have heard many times before, is where some people actually inflict harm on themselves for improperly
Yes,
doing that.
properly handling the firearm.
And that is true.
That is true.
Okay.
And it's, when people say that there's an accidental discharge, it's due to the individual's neglect. So when you're cleaning a firearm, the first thing you learn in the class is to separate the ammunition from the firearm. You obviously make sure that the firearm is empty, the magazine is out, there's not an extra
One
round
in the chamber.
and then you remove the ammunition from the room that you're cleaning it in. That's what I was taught in my class, that's what we teach.
So it's completely
It's-
separated in a
and
whole
there's
nother
no
room.
reason, absolutely.
So
There would
then,
be no reason that you would have ammunition nearby when you're cleaning a firearm.
Gotcha.
So when those kinds of things happen, it's because of negligence on the owner's part. So guns just do not accidentally go off. It's something that we did that
that occurred. And that was what you were saying before. You were afraid of the guns for the very thought that they would jump up off of the table and shoot you in some reason. But that is not what happens, and that is that you have to make sure that everything is done. The second most common issue that is out there on the table about firearms are firearms and the children that get a hold of them.
Yes.
What do you teach the gun owners, the new gun owners, about that? Should they have young children around them?
So everything we talk about is firearm safety, home safety, when you have the firearm on you as well. So I personally do not believe in purse carry. Some people do, and that's okay, but I do not. If I can't carry my firearm on me, on my person, I'm not gonna put it in a bag or in a purse. So how many times do we have our kids, we tell them to go get a pen out of my purse or candy or money, and then when they go in your purse, they accidentally put their finger in the trigger guard, and the trigger is pulled, and then we have a problem. The same thing at home. What happens is, a lot of times people will purchase a firearm, they purchase it for home defense, they put it up, and then they forget where it is. And over the years, it's moved, you just forget where it is, and then kids find and discover things that's not locked up properly. So you have to make sure that you have a safe in your home, and that it's away from people that are unauthorized to have access to it.
And it should have some kind of a lock, I would assume, right?
Lock,
I've seen fingerprint locks.
They have the fingerprint, they have a lot of different types out here, but putting a gun under the pillowcase, under the mattress, inside
the drawer, by the nightstand.
That's not the right.
Okay, so now that you bring that up, right, now, most people listening may or may not know this, but I have been a FOID, which is Firearm Owners Identification Card Carrier, for over 15 years now. And so when you mention not having it by the nightstand, right, which is where, one would want to have it to assist them when something is happening immediately coming in the house. Well, how do you get downstairs to wherever this is happening into the gun? It doesn't work for that self-defense, for breaking and entering, say somebody comes into your house.
Well, in an individual's house, they can decide where they want. I would assume you would have your firearm, your locked safe some people have firearms on every floor.
Okay.
You've heard people have firearms in every room of their house, so you can have access. So if you have a safe in your bedroom where you have easy access to it, if something is going on downstairs or on the first floor, if you have a ranched out house, then you should be able to get to your safe quickly. So that safe should be near your bed, under your, wherever you have it mounted.
So the key that we want to communicate at this point is that it is locked up and it can still be near you.
Absolutely.
But it just needs to be locked.
Absolutely.
It needs to be locked.
Making the common code that you've given your children, so they can go into the safe.
That they know you're right, your passcode for your phone and everything else that you use on the alarm and everything else. Right. You don't want it, on the security alarm, you don't want that code. Absolutely. It needs to be something completely separate for them.
But one other thing I want to mention, and I've been trying to say this every time I'm interviewed, is that when you have a child that's going to someone else's house for a sleepover or play date, you want to call that parent when your child is not around and ask them, do you have firearms in the house?
That's a good question.
And if you do, are they secured safely or safely secured? So you want to make sure that you ask those parents that, because when I was married to the policeman, and people didn't realize I was in law enforcement, which was fine, but the reality was people want to know. And we made sure that his firearm was locked up. I know he had a lot of sleepovers, but he exercised very safe practices at all times. So that's something that I wish that parents would do more often. Because a lot of times,
because that's an accidental death, and that is again a senseless death, and then one that is not necessary. That is totally preventable.
Absolutely.
That is totally preventable. So if you're going to go out and get these guns, if you want to have them, if you want to do the conceal and carry that is legal in Illinois at this point in time, so we are talking about something that is legal. So if you're wanting to do that, the key is get educated.
Absolutely.
Part of this show with EmPower is educate, enrich, and empower. So if you get educated on the gun proper cleaning, proper handling, proper shooting, proper safety and storage, then your involvement, so to speak, with firearms should not arise to incidental, accidental harm or foul with anybody, and that you can carry it for years, or you can have them for years in your home. All right, well, we're going to come back with Giovanna, and she is giving us some really good information about firearms, and we're going to talk about this Women of Steel group, because I think I might have to join. You are listening to Urban Broadcast Media, hashtag UBM Radio, and I am Bertina Power. You can find me on EmPower Hour on Facebook, as well as Bertina Power on Facebook. Don't forget to call in to 312-754-4333 if you have any questions or concerns that you would like, or an opinion. If you have an opinion, you can call and give us an opinion as well to Urban Broadcast Media. We'll be right back after these messages. Huh? What number? That was the wrong number? Oh, I swear I always give that number, but okay. But I just say call in.
Yeah, you said call in.
4333. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about, so we got probably about the Women of Steel and joining and some of the costs of the classes, so that people can get an idea of what that looks like. Okay. Hey Facebook, hey everybody. Hi, it's my commercial. Yes. All right. Hey everybody, anybody got any gun questions out here? Let's see what you got. Watching, good information. Yes, Cam, thank you. All right, everybody that's joining in. Hey Tamiko, good afternoon. Hey Hampton in the house. Anybody out there from Hampton? Make sure you all let us know. I'm Ogre 5 Ogre 8, and only Hamptonians know what this means.
0506.
And she's 0506.
Yes.
Yes.
You're on like number 15 or something.
Yeah, oh, you're like 16, 17.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. I am not that old. Do you all know that? I am not that old. Everybody told me that, and now that I'm in this business, I need to lie about my age. I was like, not happening, okay?
Yeah, I tell people I'm retired, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah,
I know, yeah, I was gonna say something about that too. I'm like, you're way too young to be
That's
retired.
why I started something new.
Yes, but this is great because it was something that you found.
A need, and most of them.
I was just sitting here on the break. Welcome back to EmPower Hour with Bertina Power, and I am talking to Giovanna Lindon again, and she is the owner and operator of JMD Defense and Investigations LLC. And we were sitting here on the break, so those of you on UBM, YouTube, and Facebook that are watching us heard us talk about this. But we were talking about how we are Hamptonian graduates. Yeah, so we were saying hi to the Hamptonians, and that we can't believe that I am, only Hamptonians would know this, but I am the class of Ogre 5 Ogre 8, and she is of Ogre 5 Ogre 6. That puts her about 8 years or so ahead of me. Yeah, that makes sense. But we were talking about how we are not going to lie about our ages, right? No.
Proud to be 51.
Oh, fabulous. And I am proud to be, yes, how old I am. Right, I am. So I just want to make sure I gave everybody the number to call in, which is 312-754-4333 if you want to call in and give us your opinion about it. We have been talking about guns and firearms. In other words, firearms is the proper term.
Yes.
That is the proper term.
Yes.
We're educating. We're going to use proper terms with all things. So the firearm is the proper term. And in Chicago, there was a need you found on the South Side where not only the firearm educational training specifically geared toward women, but that defense class is geared toward young women and women specifically so that they can learn some things. And you have a couple of classes that are going on. You have the Mommy and Me, you said, and what was the other one for college?
Before she goes to college.
Before she goes to college, yes. Now, what are the kind of costs that these classes are?
Okay. So our introduction to firearms class is $125, and that is a 4-hour class. Concealed carry class is 2 days, 16 hours. It includes a lunch, the range fees, target, ammunition, as well as the rental of our firearm, and that's $200. And then the Ladies of Steel Gun Club, I know we said we talked about that.
Yes.
That's a $60 annual membership. Includes we have food every month, the speakers, and includes a lot of discounts that we receive from retailers. And then our Mommy and Me class is $80 for both mom and daughter.
So it's $80 for the two?
For the two.
Oh, okay.
And then
Nice.
$65 is for the ladies' self-defense class, and before she goes to college is $50. And all of those classes, the self-defense classes, are 3 hours long.
Now, I'm gonna put you on the spot, Lynn. Can my EmPower listeners get a discount by identifying that they heard it right here on EmPower Hour and Urban Broadcast Media?
Yes, I came with a discount, and it will be $20 off if they type in the word EmPower.
And where do they need to type that in?
My website is www.jmddefense.com, and if they type in the word EmPower, then they will receive that discount.
Did you hear that? You go to her website, jmddefense.com, register for a class there, pay for the class there, and input EmPower in the checkout discount section, and you're gonna get $20 off. Hey, yay! Now, we were talking about Women of Steel in this gun club. As I said, I have had my firearms card. I do not own a firearm. I want to make that clear. I do have a 9-year-old, you know, and a 6-year-old. And whereas I'm not worried about my 6-year-old getting a hold of it, I do have to worry about a 9-year-old. So I am probably going to be one of the first people signing up to take the classes so that I can get a refresher course, because it has been several years. And that's the other thing a lot of people don't do, right? They think I've done it once, so I don't need to do it again, but it's always good to have a refresher. Would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. And with the new concealed carry law in Illinois, it started in 2014, and in 5 years, their permits will expire once you get it. So
they have an expiration on those.
Yes, and then there's gonna be a 3-hour refresher course. So we're not at the 5-year mark. 2019 will be the first round of people that will be coming through, but they'll need a 3-hour refresher.
They will need a refresher, so you can come to your class. You will have the refresher courses at JMD. Now, where exactly is JMD Defense and Investigations located on the south side?
1447 West 103rd Street, right off of Vincennes, and we border Beverly.
All right, so you're right there in Beverly, right off of Vincennes, and that was 1447 West 103rd Street, JMD Defense and Investigations.
Yes.
Now, do you have a range on site at this premises?
No, as of right now, we do not have ranges in Chicago, but what we do is we have a simulated, our live qualification is at a range, and we right now go to Eagle Range in Oak Forest. But what we have to help people to practice before they get to the range, we have a laser firearm. It's the same size and weight of a Glock 17, and it helps them, it's a computer-generated program as well, and it helps them to practice their stance, their grip, and then their shooting.
Right, so is this like when you're, those video games and things like that?
Similar to a video game, yes, it is.
So it's like a video game, but it in essence is not a live firearm inside the place.
Right.
And I didn't know that. So Chicago proper does not allow gun ranges in the proper, but you can take all the classes in Chicago, but you have to go outside of Chicago to take the actual range, or go to a range and practice.
Yes, and I believe that there's a movement to approve gun ranges in Chicago, so I'm not sure where that is in city council right now, but I believe it's gonna happen soon, but that's not something that I'm interested in.
Okay, we won't be opening one of those. Okay. Now, are there any other classes that you offer or at not at Urban Broadcast Media, I'm sorry, offer over at JMD?
No, we don't have any other classes. Well, we are gonna offer firearm cleaning services in the near future. We have an instructor ready to go. So as soon as I can fill some classes with that, and then I am a live scan fingerprinter. And if I could just mention this one thing to our community.
Absolutely.
With fingerprinting, and a lot of the people, I know you were just talking about Pastor Brazier's new program, a lot of people do not realize that if they have a record before they go to apply for a job, they can get a copy of their Illinois State Police record, but you have to be fingerprinted by a live scan fingerprinter. And so I only charge $25 for that fee. I understand that most places charge $50 for that.
Okay.
But I really think what we need to know in our community is that if you do have a record, you should get a copy of your record before you go to get a job, and for expungement purposes as well.
Right, and so ironically that you mentioned that, just yesterday I was identifying how at the Akarama Foundation Center we have free legal service on the second Wednesdays of every month.
Okay.
And they can assist free legal service with expungement as one of those things that they do work on. They don't do criminal, they don't do personal injury, but they do divorce, SSI, if you have an issue with your housing, whatever you may have some issues with, they do that there. as well. So now I want to thank you for coming on,
Thank
Javonna
you for
Lynn.
having me.
Yeah, she is, as I said, my sister in service, is a member of Delta Sigma Theta, as well as a Hamptonian. And I think this is awesome because some part of also what we like to do for empowering is understand that you might find something in your line that you like, that you now can make into a business and become an entrepreneur. So you worked 25 years and now you're working for yourself and you're enjoying it.
I am.
Yeah, because once you find that passion for yourself, then it becomes something that is not work anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's not work anymore. You're just having a good time, and you are educating and empowering women, men, and children for that matter. So congratulations to you, and thank you for doing that, and thank you for being here. I just want to wrap up our session today by reminding our listeners about several of our community events that will be going on. There's a Women's Empowerment Conference, Javonna, happening. It's called Unleashing the Power in You, and it is also a free event. Top Ladies of Distinction, along with Akarama Foundation, will be hosting that on October the 21st from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. at 6220 South Ingleside in Chicago, Illinois. We were also talking yesterday about how African Americans don't go get tested. Both men and women for that matter. We were talking on Tuesday about men particularly, but women as well don't go get tested. They don't get their mammograms, they don't get colonoscopies, they don't do things, and they don't really listen to their body. But the University of Illinois Chicago is hosting on Thursday, October 26th at 5 p.m. free health screenings, community resource and services. They have a free dinner and giveaways. Did you hear me? Free dinner and giveaways. Meet and hear from medical heroes as well. And what they're doing is trying to make everybody aware of the research tests that go on. You know, like if there was a test about individuals that could possibly have cancer, you don't go and become a part of that study. We don't go and become a part of that study. And we have to know that African Americans have a different reaction to one medication. You know what I mean? Your DNA makes up a difference. And so they can't make these drugs or solve the issues without knowing what it is and how we react to them, so that we should surely go and be a part of that program or be a part of those kinds of programs as well. And again, that is on Thursday, October the 26th, 5 to 8 p.m. at the University of Illinois in Chicago. For more information, you can register awareforall.org. The number is 877-633-4376. Now, Javonna, the circus has been here, Universal Soul Circus. I know you have been to the circus. Don't you just love that Universal?
I haven't been in years. My senior's 21 now. I remember when it first came.
When it first came, yes, because they are over 20 years they have been doing. She was little then. So it is over at Washington Park. It started on October 4th and it will run through almost the end of the month, which is October 29th. So grab some tickets and get out there and support the Universal Soul Circus for that. Now, we have also been talking about cancer a lot this week. We have had 2 survivors on, actually 3. The last 3 guests I had were all survivors of various types. We had breast cancer survivor, we had ovarian cancer survivor, then we had a stomach, he was a combo, he was stomach and colon survivor. And it was in these conversations that I have come to learn there are different colors representing different types of cancers. I did not know that. And so we practically covered most of them that are on here, but like the orange ribbon is for leukemia. If you get a clear ribbon, that's lung cancer. We are very familiar with the pink, and now I learned about teal and ovarian. And then there is the dark blue, which was the colon representing, and gray is brain cancer. So all the rest of the month, I'm going to be educating my listeners on the various colors for the various types of cancers that are out there, so that you can know when you see them, because if somebody is wearing this color pin, you may know, or you can ask about it, or you can then also learn more about the cancers that they may have. I thank you again, Javonna Lynn, for coming on to EmPower Hour. Up next is Mr. Mark Allen with Hear My Voice. We're here every day, EmPower Hour, with your host, Bertina Power. The quote of the day: sometime God takes you on a journey you didn't know you needed to bring you everything you ever wanted. Trust the plan.
I needed that.
You needed that? I would agree. I thought that, you know, you thought you were going to be somewhere, and then next thing you know, you are somewhere else. What about me? I absolutely had no thought that I would be here today with what it is that I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. As you are saying, thank you so very much. And congratulations on JMD Defense and Investigations. We thank you for listening today on Urban Broadcast Media. Don't forget to download the app or visit us on the website, urbanbroadcastmedia.com. I'm Bertina Power, and you're listening to EmPower Hour.
Thank you.